Hey guys, Banjo's back. If you hear the computer making a fan sound, a buzzing sound, that's because I'm rendering a bunch of videos and whatnot. And if in the background you hear Mexican music, no wait, it's some weird Latin pop mix. Anyways, you guys know what's going on. So, I was on Reddit. I was gonna set up and do the video on Fat Logic, which is what I've been wanting to talk about for a while. As I told you guys, I've lost quite a bit of weight. I'm working out. At around in a couple of hours, I'm gonna go to wrestling and jiu-jitsu. The cardio's amazing. Last night in the shower, maybe the light was just right, and I was a little bit dehydrated, and the diet was kind of weird, but the abs got hit by the light, and I was like, oh man, there's a 4 pack under a layer of body fat. But anyways, so I was on Reddit, obviously, and I was on the front page because that's where I usually go to, so I can look, so I can go to the Fat Logic thing. But I came across this front page post, uh, under the subreddit Trashy, titled "Homophobic Woman at London Pride." So we're gonna go ahead and watch the video. Uh, and like I said, as always, I know when watching outrageous things, people tend to just snap and want to explode and whatnot. But let's just see what's going on, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. Okay, first of all, I really want to say that London has some very beautiful buildings. That being said, this is. I don't think anyone's gonna say this is okay. This is not okay for whatever reason it is. But we'll get into that later. That's not okay. I've always subscribed to the whole way of thinking, or I should just say, the way of living, which is live and let live, or that very Millsian approach, which is this is my property. I'll do whatever I want here. You do whatever you want there. I've also believed with, or I should say, agreed with the whole concept of if you don't like what's in the channel, change it. Many times I'll see demonstrations on the street with things I do not agree. Lately, on a street corner very near to where I live, there's a. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Not that close. Maybe about a mile and a half away. There's a little. At night, it's a red light district, so it's usually lots of police officers. Unfortunately, a lot of women walking up and down the streets, and then there's a lot of I would say religious people trying to help those people out. However, in the day on the street corner, very specific street corner, the busiest one, you always see demonstrations either pro Trump, against Trump, pro immigration, against immigration. Lately, I've been seeing this specific group of people who has an absolute disdain for Jewish people, um, which is funny because they themselves are a minority who has maybe just as bad of a history. And when I say bad, I mean like terrible things that happened to them, and they're condemning Israel, and some have gone as far as to say that they look forward to the demise of all Jewish people, and I'm just like, wow, like you guys are so lost, and that's so mean. How can you guys think that way? But the why I'm bringing this up is this, that I live in a very free country, a country that believes in freedom of speech, and if I'm gonna be open to some guy holding up a Bernie Sanders sign saying that Bernie should be president, I also have to be open to the other people, even if I don't like this. But then a little bit further, it's okay for me to look at not the demonstration, but the lady who's screaming at the older person wearing the flag, who's screaming shame and say, hey, what you're doing is wrong, and you're just, why are you, basically in a sense, and I'm sorry to say this, but why are you so regressive, so backwards? Homophobic woman at London Pride. I think this is a good title. How else are you gonna describe this? Pro Pride woman at London scream shame on you to a bunch of LGBTQ people because they were marching the wrong direction. They were supposed to be going with traffic, not against it. I don't know why, how else to title this. besides the fact that this person seems very homophobic. Uh, and this, I found this really shocking because, again, my parents come from countries where, let's be honest, there's a lot of backwards thinking. There's a lot of abuse against women, children, you name it. And they were very, what you would define as progressive. They, you know, for, we never, personally, we never said anything wrong, at least seriously, or bad against anybody who was gay, lesbian, bisexual. And my parents was like, hey, you know what? They're just people too. You gotta let them live in their own way. And so I've always subscribed to, I always believe that, you know, although the marriage thing, I don't agree with the state being involved in marriage. But anyways, actually, I just don't agree with marriage. I'm just kidding. But that's a lot more true than false, when it comes to. But anyways, so in my perspective, if you see something you don't agree with and it's not necessarily illegal, just move on. There's nothing inherently wrong with what's going on here. It's just people who want to live and be free. Let's see some of the comments. I love her intellectually compelling argument for its sheer. Yeah, it's absurd. Shame on you, you shameless. That's if that's your only argument. Shame on you. Okay, not to compare myself to these people protesting for their what they feel is their rights being violated. Or what I actually don't know what. I suppose this is a pride parade, just them showing who they are. I used to hang out with a lot of punkers or punk rockers, whatever you want to call them, and they never did anything wrong. They just, don't get me wrong, some of them did, but for the most part, the ones I hung out with, all they would do is just skateboard. So they would go to school, skateboard, chill at the park. Most of them didn't have a home life that you would want to go home to. And they would get harassed a lot by people who just like, oh, you punks, you this, you know. And I was always like, leave them alone. They're doing nothing wrong. Well, same thing here. I don't know why this person is so triggered, but something's wrong with this person. Let's see. I just had a Game of Thrones flashback. Shame, clink, shame, click. Yeah, I thought about that too. It's kind of funny. That's not trashy. That's medieval. I understand what this means. I also don't understand what this means, but I get it, and I think it's kind of funny. I'm gonna steal this. Thank you, Gadlily. I'm sorry. Let's see. Tech admin dude. Okay. I wish people would just get on with their own lives without pushing their beliefs into others. Just grab a cuppa and chill the F out. Yeah. Yeah, hey, dude, right on, Mr. Tech admin dude. You hit. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. People should just move on. They should just do their own thing. But like I was saying, if those people have a right to have a London protest and you really genuinely believe in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, then guess what? That lady unfortunately has a right to do that. That's the reality of it. Because if I censor her, it's only a matter of time before I get censored. And I know it's a selfish argument, but that's the only argument I can make right now. If you have anything you can say, or any information you can present to me, please do. I'm always looking forward to it. I always try to keep an open mind. But that's the reality. I believe a lot of religions, especially religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, that originated in that area tend to be very, I guess what you would refer to as patriarchal or sexist, and that's unfortunately that's a reality. Let's see what this is. Freedom from religion would be fantastic. Durka Online, I agree with you. It'd be great. Freedom with religion, from religion would be fantastic, but I honestly believe that freedom is very natural to human. I'm not freedom, a religion is very natural to the human experience as much as atheism is. It's very natural. Both of those things seem to be very just naturally occurring things. Okay, let's see right here. Comment removed by moderator. I'm a little afraid to click on it, but let's see what it says. Okay, thank God. We're just gonna stop right there. No need to go any further. Can someone edit the shame bill under this? That'd be pretty funny. Let me just say this. Your religion shouldn't give you the right to be an ass to anyone. Yes. Yes. That's 100% correct. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm agnostic. I dance the line between agnostic and atheist. I'm still trying to make up my mind. I read a lot of religious texts, and you ready for this? Unless I would have told you, which I did, you would never know. Most people, every now and then, they'll ask you, yo, hey, Banjo, What are you into? Like, what's your religion? I'm like, it doesn't really matter, dude. What's the point? And I move on. If you have a religion and you have a relationship with what you see as your God, that's cool. But at the end of the day, respect the fact that other people may not agree with you. And, it's just how it is. Let's see. This lady really used Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Like it's 2015. Holy poop, LMAO. Yeah, I don't think she said this, but I get what you're saying, so that's pretty good. Shame on you. Thread locked deleted. I think this is a reference to the thread itself. Where's her escort? Assuming she's Muslim and not just some deaf bint. This is probably not a good thing to call somebody, okay? Using a burqa to hide her identity. I could go either way. I'm not really sure what they're referring to here. Okay, let's keep going. If you don't want to live in an open and tolerant society, then F off and live somewhere else. Okay, good point. Good point. Good point. If okay, good point. I get what you're saying there. I get it. If you don't want to live in this area where they celebrate gay marriage and straight marriage, and you just want only straight marriage, or you only want gay marriage, you're probably going to a place that only celebrates that. But let's see what else they have. Give it an hour tops before this post is locked and have the comments deleted. Okay. Eloquently put. I'm not going to expand on these. Maybe we should do away with religion and its intolerance. True, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, if you just try to force people to leave their religion, you're either gonna, you're only going to make them further cement their beliefs. So I don't think it's gonna help anyone. Uh, Maybe explain to them why some religious ideologies are not right or are outdated. You shouldn't be stoned to death for marrying the person you love, but you should be stoned to death for. Not just kidding. I was gonna make like some dumb politics joke, but anyways. But the whole point of freedom of speech in our society is to allow for a poop like this, though, rather than suggesting she should leave, which sounds quite bigoted and prejudiced from where she is. That's a good point. I didn't think of it that way. Maybe telling somebody that that they should leave instead of staying here could be but no, see, I don't think it's necessarily bigoted, because if you go into it's like if I go into a restaurant, and again, if I'm not seeing this right, please tell me. You're gonna probably laugh at me for saying this, but thinking's kind of hard, so I'm still trying to process ideas. But anyways, if I go into, let's say a club, I go into a gay club, whatever it is, men, women, whatever that is, and I see two people making out, and I'm just like, shame on them. They shouldn't be doing that. It should be a man and a woman, not a man and a man, or a woman and a woman. And the owner says, hey, you know what? Or all the other patrons say, hey, look, if you don't like it, you can leave. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. But let's see what else they go, because maybe I'm not really understanding what Sweet Yams is saying. So let's see. From her ideas should dissolve in the free market of ideas for how stupid it actually is. That's a good point. Okay, I like what you're saying. So instead of telling her, hey, oh, okay, so let's say I'm at that club, and then two people are, they're kissing, and that upsets me. Instead of the saying you should leave, it should be more of a conversation of, okay, what don't you agree with it? Or what is wrong with what you see? And then I could explain what I believe, and they could explain what they believe, and along the way we could come to some sort of mutual understanding. But then what happens if, no matter what, I stick to my proverbial guns? In this case, I really doubt, and I don't know this person, so maybe I'm wrong, but I really doubt people who are shouting at a lot of pride parade walking by are gonna change their minds overnight like that. So let's see what else. No one wants to enforce the F off part, though. I don't know what that's referring to. I think they are referring to this comment. Oh, okay. Whoa, I am dumb. Let's see. Part of the open tolerant society is tolerating her opinion that she hates gays, and that is the truth. If you really do want to live in a tolerant and open society, you have to put up with the fact that eventually you're gonna come across someone who has opinions that are completely different from yours, and you know what? All you can really do is say, okay, well, this is part of being in a tolerant and open society. And let's see. She was being quite open, to be fair. Also championing free speech, okay? So effing brainwashed, it's sad. It's unfortunate, and I do agree with that a lot of people, they are introduced to religion early on, and they just take religion, how should I put it? They don't really think about it. They just accept it for what it is. and which is faith. But anyways, let's see. When I was a kid, ninjas were cooler. Not this a-hole. Yeah, that's funny. Imagine being that unhappy. And yeah, come on, man. How upset do you have to get to ruin somebody else's happy day? Let's see. She's being homophobic, but it is putting that is putting that out being Islamophobic. Welcome to modern times. I don't think so. I think if and we're gonna, you know what? I should look into this further, and I will. But if your religion really believes that, or is contrary to the homosexuality or LGBTQ and all those other letters, then yeah, you are being homophobic, and calling it out isn't a bad thing. Calling out homophobia in religion is not a bad thing. If you can call out homophobia in Christianity, then you should easily be able to call homophobia out in is I was gonna say Islamophobia, but Islam doesn't fit the narrative. I didn't know there was a narrative, and to be honest, I've been very fortunate to have gone to many parts of the world, and this is my this whole thing is my personal opinion, but this is more of my deep thoughts that I've had. But in my experience, when it comes to many religions, they are very cruel to people that don't fit the narrative. And so in my experience, there isn't really a narrative of peace or loving. It's more a narrative of abuse towards homosexuals, towards women, towards children. So that's my narrative. I think it's fairly obvious that I'm not a big fan of religion or politics, so I don't know if there was a positive narrative to begin with. I've traveled the world. I've been to many countries that a lot of people refer to as third world, which is the wrong word to use when describing them. And man, it's not good. Let's see. Today I learned Muslims believe in the story of Adam and Eve. I didn't think they did, but them. I think it's them again. I'm not religious and have no clue about any of it. I like that. I love that admission of not knowing. I think that's the best. If you don't know, you should just admit that you don't know. Let's see. She is supposed to be praying, not berating peaceful people. Okay. I don't know if she really is supposed to be praying. If like there's a prayer, a time prayer. But at the end of the day, if you have a peaceful group who just wants to exist, let them live, man. Let them do their thing. It's okay. Love is love. That's all that matters. Everybody's consenting. No big deal. Hey, take off that burqa. Shame on you. Burqas don't exist in my culture. Shame on you. You should take it off right now. And I think this is a symbol for sarcasm. I think it is. I know it is. Yeah, I know it is. I know for a fact that's a symbol or something like that for sarcasm. But this person is making a good point. In many cultures, burqas don't exist. When I was going to college, a few young ladies had actually ran away from their families because their families were forcing them to wear, believe it or not, burqas, and they were trying to marry them off to what one described as a monster of a man. And man, it was bad. They they had tried filing police reports, and turns out where they're from, they couldn't file them unless a guardian went with them or something. I don't remember the full extent, and honestly, it broke my heart because these ladies were absolutely amazing, smart, caring, beautiful human beings, and one of them had a video of their father just beating the snot out of her, like oh my man, there's just some cruel people out there, and they use religion, and I'm not gonna, you know what, and a lot of religions do push for just abuse of humans. But anyways, someone needs to explain the irony to this person, and I'm just gonna stop right there. So yeah, I came across this thing, and I just want to say, at the risk of sounding like I'm preaching to you, if you see something that's not necessarily illegal or wrong that you disagree with, such as this lady, ask yourself a very simple question: why? What is wrong with this? You're gonna find out that many times nothing is wrong with it. It's just some weird not childhood, but some childish behavior. Somebody just told you not to like it, and that's it. I grew up in a very Hispanic immigrant community, and there was a lot of homophobia, a lot of it. One of my friends, growing up, he had a really high pitched voice. The true story, high pitched voice, and his dad, I don't know what he did one day, but he ran into his house and came across. I think he was trying to hide from his dad, and he let out this really high pitched scream, kind of like a little girl. And the older brother says, "Oh look, he's screaming like a girl." And the dad says, "I'm gonna beat," literally, and I quote, "I'm gonna beat it out of him." takes off his belt in the front yard, just starts beating the crap out of this kid. And it was bad because it got to the point where the kid was on his knees and like on all fours while his dad was just whipping away, and the kid like just screaming his heart out. And very homophobic area, and a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, the percentage of homosexuals in my community was single figures, to be honest, but it was really heartbreaking to see that most of them, by the time they came out, ended up on the streets. And the point is, you don't have to hate, but it's really disappointing when you see a place that is so accepting have people who are still doing stuff like that, doing stuff like that. That's not necessary. So, I really hope you guys are having a great day. I really do. I completely forgot where I was going with this video. I swear, next one, I'm going to write something down. But just, for all of you out there, please don't be homophobic. Please don't take the law into your own hands. It's not worth it. Educate yourselves on these things. I'm trying. And as you can obviously tell, the internet's full of crazy people. Thank you for listening. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.